I'm waiting on everybody to come in. Hello, everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you for coming for Quarantine Live.
Hey,
Hey.
what's
How
going
are
on,
you?
sis? I'm good. I'm good. How
Good.
you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me get my life together with this screen. You never know how it's going to look until you go live.
Yeah, that's the you got a pre-tape.
Right. Like my face is all up in it. Let me move that. Okay, yeah, I think this is better. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? How you holding up during all of this?
I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm not
Yeah,
sick.
I'm in the
My
same place.
anxiety is like really high when I go outside, so I'm like very like cautious of people being near me.
Yeah, I keep you hitting people with the Heisman, yo.
Right, right, right. Please back up. I need 6 feet.
Yeah,
Really 10.
for real, for real.
So what you been up to? Like what's been going on in your world?
Uh, a little bit of everything. When this all first started, I didn't really have a lot of creative energy. And I was trying to like navigate that, and I didn't really know how. I was really fighting against my own like self-interest for a little while, and
Mm-hmm.
I was beating myself up and like really like come on, you're supposed to be learning 7 languages and you're supposed to be figuring out how to like build a rocket ship to the moon. Like had all these crazy ambitions, and as it got to the point where I was just like, nah, dude, just don't do nothing. Like do what feels right, and then it'll come when it's ready.
Yeah.
And it took me a couple months to get through that, and I'm finally getting to a point where I'm coming out of it. And like between work and like this basic life stuff, like I'm reset, and I'm becoming more creative with each day really right now.
Yeah. When doing these interviews, I get a lot of people have been doing that. A
Hmm.
lot of the creatives have been taking a step back to kind of look over everything that they've been, either doing before or changing that. And with me, I haven't really stopped much. I
Mm.
probably need to take a break. I probably, probably, but I'm so scared if I take a break that I don't know. I just have this inside. I don't know.
What do you think?
I
Is that
just,
gonna come back?
yeah, like I think
Ah,
this is like the golden like opportunity, and I gotta push, 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 push.
I mean that is one way to do it, but you got to give yourself time to rest and reset and revigorate and get that energy back for your creativity because you're gonna
Yeah,
burn out at some point. I did that
yeah,
before.
yeah.
You know,
It's not a good thing. Yeah,
no, it's the worst.
no. Uh, so, what helped you to continue to like create? Like after you had your time, what helped you? What are the things that you've done?
Uh, the biggest one was deadlines. So I had some projects that had to get done, and it was either I don't do it and I don't get this money, or I like push through. So I was like, I've always lived to try to be a man of my word. If I
Mm-hmm.
say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So I kind of just forced myself to do like I did like 2 or 3 projects for clients during this time, as well as like my full time day job and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And between that and like, I think what really got me back to where I needed to be was when I started. I got a bike around my birthday,
Right.
and I love riding. Like riding a bike is one of my favorite things, especially like up in New York. It's really cool to have like these great bike paths. So
Mm-hmm.
that helped. It reminded me how much just traveling through the city like actually inspires me.
Wow.
Seeing
Yeah.
people moving, like seeing different locations, like the lights, the colors, the shapes, the sounds, like all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
plays to help like stoke the fire of my creativity, you
Yeah.
know, and that was a really big motivator.
Yeah. I wish we had more. Like we have a lot of parks here. I'm in Georgia. I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah.
So but it's just so far away. Like we have to drive like 30-40 minutes to get to like a, you know, it's just a lot. You have to like put your mind to just do it.
Yeah.
Here in Atlanta. And then we don't have like bike lanes like that.
Mhm.
Only like in the city, and you know.
Yeah, I've been in Atlanta a few times, and I got some people down there, and I was talking to them about the same thing, and they were like, "Yeah, it's all fun and games until you get on one of those streets, those highways,
Right.
and
Because we do not care. We'll go.
right through
It'll
you."
be 35 miles an hour, and everybody's going 50.
Yeah, they
Please
trying to
don't
get to
be
where
in
they
the
go.
way. Please don't be in the way. So, what do you like to be called? Like when I was looking over your stuff, and you had William, and you had Pope. You had a
Oh,
lot of aliases.
oh, no one calls me William. So only like my family calls me William. Like
Yeah.
I am, you can call me Pope. Like most people call me Pope. I've been going by that name since I was like maybe like 19.
Oh, okay.
And so the thing is like, Pope is actually my real name. It's not like I'm not a
Oh.
rapper. That's not like my rap name or something like that.
Okay.
And what happened was when I started to get into art and I started to when I was a freelancer, I was trying to find my work online, and my name is super, super common, you know?
Right.
So it was like maybe 5 to 10,000 people with my name, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And all those people are creatives. And then I
Right.
was trying to find different versions of my name, and all of those people are creatives too. Like one of the
Right.
most famous, like William Popes is this dude named William Pope L, who's this
Mm-hmm.
fine artist. And like I'm not beating that dude right now, so I was like, all right, I gotta work with something different.
Right.
So I took on the alias of Pope Phoenix.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
guess I'm glad you didn't do like with the Elabella A
Oh,
direction.
yeah. You've been using it for 1,000 years now. I'm gonna do
Right.
it, and you gotta pay me to use your name. It's
Right.
crazy.
Crazy. Like, wow. The things that you see nowadays, I think of like how pop culture has like changed a lot of things, and like
Mm,
I think that would probably be like the one of the best questions to ask in that game when you do that. When you have I haven't played that game in like years.
what game?
You remember the game? See, I'm an '80s baby, so the game, it had like it was like a circle, right? And inside the circle you had to fill in
You
the
talking about this
colors
game?
in this. No, not that one. It was like a circle, and like it had triangles in the circle, and
Mm,
like you had to. It the game was about like pop culture or whatever, but you had to answer the questions in order to like fill in your circle. I can't
mm.
remember the name of it. I'm gonna look it up, but yeah, it reminds me of
Yeah.
that. um, I saw a lot of your artwork focused on, especially the previous works that you did for the Grammys,
Hmm.
and your the way that you focused on like geometric shapes
Hmm.
and in that series. So, what inspired that?
So I'm primarily a vector artist, you know.
Right.
I started doing. I went from a time where I was trying to create something that was more realistic, but then I went to the other end and went really organic, like simple, polygonal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a place where I'm trying to meet in the middle, where I want to create. I'm trying to figure out a way to use vector art, but also to give it more life and to create some type of energy within the artwork, because digital art is basically it's an unnatural medium. You know,
Right.
it's not something that you see in an everyday world. While so my whole thing has been, I've been focusing on trying to do something where I focus my work on photography,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to bring that the into my artwork.
Okay.
So the geometric shapes that you're speaking of came about because when you look at a triangle, triangle is three-sided, and in it, it's always the way I use it is shaped in a way that it's about balance. So it's either on his point or on his side to try to create a balance within the work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I use it as a thing that's like unifying. I use it as a
Mm-hmm.
symbol for people, And usually when it's flipped upside down, it means that's completely balanced when it's like this. Oh, so it's like, those are the thoughts behind it, you know?
No, I didn't. That was really deep. Did y'all get that? I went to school for like art and at the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
And I remember those type of like I guess tips and stuff because you know they tell us to do the rules and then you can break them
Yep.
type situations. So yeah, you just took me to back to school on that one right there.
Yeah.
With the I want to keep on going into the Grammy stuff because you did it twice in 2018 and
Yeah.
2020. So, what challenges did you face when creating these portraits, like personally?
Well, the first set I did with Kendrick, Childish Gambino, Bruno Mars, and Cardi B. So the basis of it was that I wanted to create illustrations that were celebrating some of the black artists and people of color that were being nominated at that time, and I didn't really see like a lot of people didn't really give them a lot of credit and they don't get a lot of praise for it. So I figured if I did this, it'd be one way to help like shed some light on it. And my dumbass was trying to do it and try to do it live during the show.
Right.
So the whole thing was like when it started, I was trying to bang them out in the process. So trying to create 4 portraits in 3 hours was more than I was possibly really could do, you know.
Wow.
So that was really really tough for me. The second set was like I had wrote an old article about the second set as well, and like for me that one was it was when I started it, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. But as I went through it, I started to realize there were shifts I had to make within my work. And that work actually started to evolve as I went through them, you know, and I saw a big shift in some of the lighting and how I created the forms of the faces that helped, in my opinion, catapult my work from the start of that process in the beginning. I started with her. I did her, then Khalid, and then you can see a big shift in the Lil Nas X one, because that I did a lot of research. And I did some studying about lights and shadows, and did some more some testing, and then I went into the Lizzo one, which is my favorite one, which I think is the one that came out the best. And you can see a lot of it's like that's one of the softest illustrations I've done because you can see like a lot of tones. While it's really hard because I have sharp angles in my work, there's a lot of soft edges. There's like soft lighting. There's gentle like a reflection from my earrings on her face if you catch it. Like it was one of my favorite pieces, and I showed a lot. And I think people are already tired of me showing that piece.
Right. Yeah, those were amazing because I read the article that you wrote it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read all of that and I was just like, I went to the links and I saw how I can see how you got the picture, especially with her, with her performing and her hair, just so wavy and the glasses and just her facial features. So I saw like, okay, I see what direction you was going on that. And then I really loved how like you can see the growth in the 2 years of the works and how it expanded and the features came more realistic to me. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So like what do you tell like other artists, like what tools do you like to use when you're creating these things? I saw that you use Infinity.
Yeah, Infinity Designer.
Infinity Designer. So in your opinion, the pros and cons of Infinity and then with Adobe?
I think to me it's like it's all the difference is the pros and cons is really it's like Mac and PC. It's like what's your preference? You know, they both have different learning curves and different techniques. When I first started I started out using Adobe Illustrator because that was the only like real
Right.
vector program out in the market. So I got, it took me a long time to get proficient in it into a place where I would say that I was good at it, and I, I had worked at this fashion house. This is a little side story, and
Yeah.
this guy that was sitting next to me, he was he's dope. Like his name is Scott Johnson, and he basically taught me how to use Illustrator. And like every day I sat next to him making these really obnoxious shirts for like Ed Hardy and like Old Navy and stuff like that. But he showed
Wow.
me the ins and out for a whole year. It was almost like
A
like
master
the
class.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like in anime terms, I was like put in a
Yeah.
hyperbolic chamber, and I was just working on this joint every day. So I got to that point I felt I was really good. But when I got to like flashback 2 years ago, I was finding myself on a train a lot more than I was at my desk. So I
Hmm.
bought an iPad and I was trying to find a good vector program to use, and I couldn't find a really good one. So I ended up just like searching through a bunch of them. And I finally found Affinity Designer, and it was as flexible. And then when I realized I had a lot of features in it that Adobe that Illustrator didn't. Like the way I like the way the pen tool works, the way masking is really simple, and there's a lot of mask in my work,
Hmm.
and it just like the flow from doing things was a lot simpler and more effective in Affinity Designer than it was in Adobe Illustrator. Because I think it's the same problem with Photoshop. Adobe Illustrator is trying to do so many things for so many different people,
Yeah.
while Affinity Design is just focused on illustrators. That you can
Okay.
do other things in it, but like you can build a magazine in Adobe Illustrator. They have
Hmm.
tools for that in it if you want it, but you can in Affinity Design. I feel like it's strictly focused around doing illustrations, both in pixel and in vector, which is super effective for me too. So I can just draw something in pencil, like in the pixel format in Affinity Designer, then switch personas and then use the vector side to do the final illustration. I don't have to switch
Wow.
programs, and it's
Wow.
$20.
Oh, so much, so much affordable than Adobe. They're
Yeah,
almost like Apple. They make you want to buy the whole suite just to do
yeah,
what you need to do.
yeah. There's no subscription, and that was the other thing too. It's like if you're looking for an alternative, like I found like Affinity and Serif's like suite to be comparable in a bunch of different ways, and it's a lot more affordable. You know,
Right. Right. So you need to be a sponsor or a person, what's it, affiliate or something for them.
I should, right?
Because
But they did a feature on me early this year.
okay, that's
Yeah,
the start.
yeah. Where them checks? Where
Where
them
the
checks
checks
at?
at? I will be tagging them. Absolutely. Where them
Yeah.
checks? Um, so where do you see your art in the future? Like, where do you want to go um, from here?
Uh, I want to do more portrait stuff. I have a bunch of different projects that I want to do going forward. Like I have stories I want to tell, and I have character designs. A lot of it, I want to become a full time. I just want to do illustration. This,
That's it.
that's it. Yeah, I don't want to do all the other stuff that I'm doing. I do it because it's my job. I'm an art director.
Hmm.
And I enjoy doing it. I love it. Hey, but my true passion is within illustration. And I want to be able to like travel the world and work with big brands and bring my artwork to the world, and hope that my artwork is able to inspire other designers and illustrators to try to get into this world and see what they can bring to it as well.
Right.
I'm on, if we be 100, like I would want the opportunity to allow my artwork to help other people, because my thing is always about helping young designers, young illustrators, like anybody's in the business that's trying to get into it to understand both the pros and the cons of it. Everyone wants to be an artist because it's cool. Like, oh, you create
Yeah.
art, you do that
Yeah.
thing. Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
But it's not always praise. It's a lot of
No.
hardship and it's a lot of like people trying to take advantage of you and like people trying to like just trying to get something for free and
Free. Yeah.
yeah, like but so I want to be able to help people understand both sides. So it's not like if you don't get both sides, then you're really just basically lying to people about it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How do you? Because I was looking at one of your posts, and you was starting to do like your lives and showing your technique and stuff like that. Are
Yeah.
you looking into doing any more of that?
Uh, I am, but I haven't. I will. I gotta change my thinking around this stuff. Most of the big thing is that I don't. My confidence in that has not gotten to the same confidence level as my art and my beard. So
Uh,
until until I get to that
yeah.
point, like then I I will like so I'm doing it slowly. Like there's gonna be more videos coming out, here and there, but I'm working on it. Like you're not the first person to ask me, and many people like,
Really?
yo, when are
So
you gonna do that?
what is yeah, what is setting you back? Because I think you already have what you need. Like
Hmm.
what you did to me on the viewer side, I got it. Like I saw how you took us into steps and stuff. So I think you already have it.
Yeah,
I think you
it's in
just
my
need to
head.
do it.
Yeah, it's in my head. I, I'm
It's in
I'm
your
well
head.
I'm well aware it's in my head. And
Yeah.
but the thing was, it's like I'm really working on trying to figure out what my voice is gonna be in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when I've made videos in the past, I've made them in a way that it's like, oh, it's supposed to be done this way. This is the way people talk. These are the words people use to try to like get it across,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not authentic because that's not how I really talk. And I want
Mm-hmm.
to get, I'm at like 85% there of how I want to present my work. You know, and because when I take pictures, people see me. I've always been told I'm pensive, like I'm very serious looking, but that is not who I am. I just
Mm-hmm.
think selfies are dumb, so I always look in a certain way in them. But I'm a goofy guy. I like to joke
Yeah.
around. I'm very silly, and I need to. I'm working on. I'm finalizing how I'm going to bring that to that type of medium. And it's also a
Yeah.
new thing for me.
Yeah. 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 You just have to yeah, because I was like that of doing these interviews and just being out there. I made it the goal of putting myself in the front so people
Hmm.
kind of know what's going on and who I am and stuff like that. So um, it's been a struggle on my end. It's different, but people seem to enjoy seeing who's behind the scenes nowadays. I guess that
Yeah.
everybody's just so nosy. Um, about that, but it's
Yeah.
all good. I mean, I get it. Um, but yeah, I think you should just, you don't have to go live. Just, tape yourself and, look back at it and maybe you can just clip some stuff out and
Yeah.
just share it.
I will.
I'm more of a motivator.
I definitely will. I keep hearing
Yeah.
people tell me, and I know I should do it in some form or another. But I also want to make sure I'm very competitive with myself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and always want to make sure whatever I do is not perfect but great.
Right.
If it's not coming out great, and if I don't feel it's great, then it's not. So
Right.
I'm not gonna put out subpar material.
Right.
You know.
And I know a lot of my audience and the artists that I work with, they really want to know how to connect with different brands. What is your strategy when you connect and work with these brands?
Connections. To be real with you, it's
Yeah.
like you have to learn how to build connections with people, and it's not just like somebody who's gonna give you the hookup. It's like you have to try to figure out a way to build a connection with the brand,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever it is that is running their promotional information, their promotional system. You got to figure out a way to make a connection. So you can use Instagram, you can use Twitter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I got when I started working with Affinity early this year, or late last year, it was part of my plan. But that took a year for me to do that.
Right.
Like I started using Affinity back in 2018, and it took me a year to figure out how to use it, and then another year to actually get a gig with them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so what I did was I basically created every piece of art I created with their software. I tagged them in it, and to the point where somebody from their PR team reached out to me, you
Wow.
know. And then I started to build a relationship like that, and I also hit people on Twitter. I was hitting their PR people on Twitter. So the way to do it is you gotta work. You gotta put
And
that equity,
consistency.
that sweat equity in, and let
Yeah.
people know that you exist. Because I think a lot of people think if you just put something on social media, it's gonna
Just
magically
be
get to the right
viral.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also gotta what I've read is that you create content strictly for the companies that you want to work for, you know,
Hmm.
so they can see what it looks like, and then they can start to get an idea of what you can provide them. And
Right.
it's a catch 22. You're promoting this other company, but it's you got to have a goal, you know.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That is so true because I got a chance to work with Whole Foods last
Hmm.
year,
Nice.
and it was one of those things that that's what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
Um, like from the beginning of rebranding Comfy Art, and then also connecting and building a community with artists.
Yeah.
So when I reached out to them, of course they didn't respond or whatever. They just don't respond to you in the first go.
Yeah.
But it was so funny that I was able. They was building a brand new one here in Atlanta, like one of the biggest Whole Foods on the East Coast,
Mm.
Southeast or whatever, and it's downtown. So like the day that they opened, I was like randomly just driving past it, and I didn't even know that they was open. So they opened. I walked in there. I asked who the manager was and all of that stuff. And
Mm.
then when I looked on that post, they had events because they have a rooftop and
Oh.
everything on this Whole Foods. And I went in, I asked for the manager. Everybody was super, super nice. Usually they'd be like, why you need a manager or whatever. But everybody was like, well, here's the manager, here's the email
Hmm.
of marketing and all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
And just that connection and just really like putting myself out there was an opportunity to do like 3 events
Yeah.
there for the artists. So I think you just have to be really know what you want to
Yeah.
do. Um, don't be scared of the no's.
Oh, the
If
nose
you really
come.
want it, yeah, it
Nose are
might
part
be
of the program.
not a good time to for them, but and then just really like focus on, like you said, focus on your craft, and they will usually come back to see what's going on with
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I guess like, can you tell me a little bit more about like your, I guess, work role of art director, and how did you get into that lane for different corporations?
Um, I it depends on the job I'm doing, I've been working in design for maybe 15 years now,
Hmm.
something like that. And it's just coming up. I got into it from job to job, I was working. I came out of high school for art, and a quick burn through of my career. It's like I came out of high school. I went right into working. I was a production artist at a nonprofit in New York City. And then I took 3 years off because I thought I knew how to do freelance, and I did not. And
That's a whole nother monster right there.
yeah, I automatically I failed within the first month of trying to do it, and I had to find a new job. So I ended up just bouncing from like BS job to jobs for like 3 years. And then when I finally got back into art, I went back into doing publishing, and I helped founded this hip hop magazine in New York called The Ave,
Mhm.
and I did that for 5 years. I worked. I took that and I switched over to like this fashion house, and I designed for like clothes for like 2 years, designing like for Old
Wow.
Navy, NBA, Walmart, Target, like all those big brands. And then I went from there to working at I think BET, and I was at that point I was like a senior designer, and I was working at BET doing digital and interactive design for like websites and
Mhm.
apps and all this other wild crazy shit. Yeah, I can curse on this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. So actual forgiveness, not permission.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so after that, I went into after working at BET for a couple years, I did freelance for a little while. I helped founded a clothing company called The Whiskey Lifestyle. I helped found Hannah Magazine as an art director there. I started working at Essence. I worked there for 2 years as a senior designer, and then became the digital art director. And then and now I work for IBM as a content director. So the process is really like, it's trying to figure out the best way to present the product, and make all the parties happy while creating something that's really like visually appealing, because
Right.
you have what you want to do as the art director, what's the capability of the team that you have, along with the stakeholders who run the project, whose project it is, and whatever outside party that you're dealing with. So you have to kind of juggle all of those things to try to create this good piece of a good asset, and it could go, depending on the people you work with, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be super amazing. It really depends on how you manage the people that you're interacting with. There's a lot of
Hmm.
it's like managing expectations, you know,
Right.
because if you gotta really, my skill has always been like undersell and over deliver, you know.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna give you this, and then I get to that point and I try to bring in that, you know,
Hmm.
because if you start here and you deliver here, then that's a failure.
Right.
So I always aim low and then I deliver really high. So it's like at that point they can't really complain. It's like, oh, you're giving me more for the same
Right.
thing that we discussed. It's like, yeah, because I'm fucking dope. What do you expect?
Right.
You
So
know?
how do you balance? Well, I just did a survey in for artists, so I can kind of know what they have going on other than art. And
Mm,
the probably around 80% of the artists have other things going on other than
yeah.
their not being a full time artist.
Mm,
So how can you what can you tell some of these artists of how to balance what their passion is to what they have to do and trying to get to
mm.
that passion?
Well, we live in America, so you need
Right.
funding. Everything needs funding. So you gotta sacrifice something in order to get to where you want to go.
Mhm.
So I've always told people like what do you first you got to start with what do you want to do, and then because once you know what you want to do, then you can start moving backwards to figure that out.
Mhm.
And but there needs to be balance between how much time you spend doing your passion project and how much time you spend on the thing that keeps the lights on. Because if
Mhm.
you can't keep the lights on, you can't do your passion project.
Right.
And if you're not getting your passion out, then you're not going to want to do the stuff that keeps the lights on. you
Right.
know so if you can find that balance within yourself, it's different for everybody. I went through a period where like I had absolutely no passion projects. I just focused on just doing stuff to keep the lights on,
Mhm.
while other times it was the exact opposite. I was so focused on my passion projects that I wasn't really focusing on my work stuff, and
Yeah.
then that's how money gets messed up.
Yeah. It's kind of
So
hard,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like my heart is full, but my
It's
bank
not.
account's a whole different conversation.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's where it comes to when you're doing your outside work is to really focus on how that can make you money. Like we said at the
Yeah.
beginning, we always, as our artists, give stuff for free when we really
Hmm.
shouldn't do that. But
Hmm.
um, it's like a double-edged sword when it comes to like when you're doing art and you want to put it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when a few years ago I used to say never work for free, right? Absolutely never work for free, and I still feel like that. It's just the definition of payment has changed. Like if you're doing a project where you're not getting paid money, you should be getting paid something. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like information, knowledge. Maybe you're doing the project because you're trying to work out something.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying something new, and you're going to experiment on their project. And you let them know that up front. If it's maybe it's a barter. Like you're doing this project for them, and they're going to provide this thing for you.
Hmm.
But you should never just do it where it's like very one-sided and only that the other party is coming out of it,
Yeah.
because then you're really just losing. You're burning yourself out, and you're not
Right.
getting anything out of it. You
Right.
know.
My question is always to people that I work with is I ask, what are their goals? It's my daughter.
Yeah, that's my daughter's kitchen back there. So
Yeah. What are their goals? I like everybody wants to call me now too.
same
Um,
same here.
um, what are their goals and how can I help or how can I support their goals when they're when I'm asking for things that I would want to help me
Yeah,
in return. So I think that kind of opens up the conversation and people are a little bit more willing to support you. I don't like to say help, support you in what you need um, when you ask them, from the get go. So, what's going on with you? What's your goals? How can I help? Do I need to
mm-hmm.
promote? Do I need to post something like,
Yeah,
or all of that stuff? Who do I need to connect you with or
yep.
whatever? So I'm really, really good. I think so. I think I'm really, really good at doing that because I don't want anyone to feel that I'm using them.
Exactly. Well, I always say you got to believe. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it. So you got to start
Yeah.
with you. So if
Yeah.
you believe you good, you're already halfway there.
Yeah.
Everybody else got to catch up. That's all.
Yeah, they gotta catch up. I think I'm good. I don't know about everybody else, but
But nah, you're right. The idea of like supporting your friends, no matter how it is really important for creators because I have a friend who asked me to help him with a project recently, and I was like, yo, you don't have to. He's like, yo, what I have to pay you to get this done? I'm like, yo, we're both trying to figure something out. You don't have to pay me. He was like, nah, I'm trying to get used to myself, like on my end to get used to paying my friends to do projects even when we team up on
yeah,
something. And
I'm
I'm
in
like,
that. Yeah,
so I told him like, who am I to tell someone not to pay me? Like, if you want to pay me, sure. Like, let
right.
me help you pay me
Pay
because that
me.
makes you feel good, you know?
Right. I'm like that. Certain things I don't want to pay for. That's just I think that's everybody. But I try to pay people
Yeah.
what I can,
Hmm.
not what they're worth. I don't have that money yet,
Yeah.
but what I can, I like to give them a little something.
Yeah. Always. When I come to people with jobs, like I always tell them like, if I'm asking you to do work, you're going to get paid. Like,
Right.
I'm never asking somebody to do something for free. Like, especially if a job coming from someone else through me,
Hmm.
like, yeah, you're not getting nothing for free through my people. You're not going to use me as a gateway. So
Right.
like, you got to pay them. You know, it's just
Yeah.
important. Because we got to get people used to understanding that creativity, just because I love it, doesn't mean I want to do it for free. I still have things I need to pay for. Like, you trying to start your brand, and I'm trying to survive and start my
Right.
brand. Like, you can help each other.
Right.
Like, people,
Absolutely.
there's way too much money out here that we all can't eat. Yo. We can all eat. We can
Right.
we can all eat, but we've been taught for so many years that it's only like $8 in the entire world. And if you don't get, you can't get, you can only get one piece of it. But there's so much bread out here. Like,
Yeah.
we just gotta figure out to get into the right rooms. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what we have been yelling for years, and now people are really kind of, I guess, they're listening. But they're listening because they're on a spotlight. Which is great, but we'll see in the next, I guess, 3 months next
Hmm.
year how all of that is transition of us yelling on the top of our lungs and stuff.
Man, I don't think it's gonna change. I think people have seen that it's time for us to start like banding together and start looking out for each other. You know,
Right,
especially like in the creative community, because most of Black people are creative anyway. But at the
right,
same time, like, I think in other places too, we just like we're seeing it. It's like we're stronger together than we are apart. You know?
Right.
And I think that's that early hip hop mentality that we had. Like, yo, I gotta do this on my own. I don't need nobody. I'm all me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
And
I don't like that mentality. I need all the help.
I need
But
all the help.
I need all the help. But that is true because I just got over that hump
Yeah.
of just finding people to help me do the stuff that I need to be done.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it all by myself. And
We
I'm
can't.
just learning that myself. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Some of the dopest things I've ever done has been with my friends. You know,
Yeah.
helping them with their projects, doing my own projects. Like you have more resources when you band together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like what's the African proverb? Is you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together.
Let's go together. Yep.
You know,
I also like what you posted on your stories. It says, "Think like an adult, explore like a child."
yes,
I
yeah.
love that.
That is me to a T. You know, like I have responsibilities. You know, I'm a father. Uh, I have family. I have work. I have my own projects. Like there's things I need to do. You know, it goes back to
Mm-hmm.
the thing we were talking about earlier. It's about the responsibilities. Like I know I have to do X, Y, and Z to get to where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, that doesn't mean that I can't still have fun. Like
Right.
I play video games. I hang out with my kids. Like I hang out with my friends. Like I'm really stupid and goofy, and like if I had a chance, I have a water balloon fight. Like
Right.
whatever it takes, whatever I feel is necessary right now, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sing a song if I feel like it. I'm gonna
Right.
dance real crazy because it's fun. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people when they get older, they think you're not supposed to have fun anymore, and if you do have a lot of fun, then you're childish, and that's fake too. It's a false mentality to have.
Yeah.
You know, the more I think the older we get, the more we lose a childhood, and childhood is what inspires the innocence in us and allows us to
Mm-hmm.
explore unabashedly, you
Right.
know, and that's where we've lost a lot of it, is that feeling that everything is new, so we got to try, we got to keep learning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading an article, and because I was trying to figure out why everything is moving so fast right now,
Yeah.
you know, and this was like maybe before this is before all the COVID stuff hit, and the article basically said the reason why when we're young time is so slow is because we're learning new things every day. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
trying new things, we're going new places. You know, every day is like an adventure. But when we get older, we start doing the same things every day. We're going, getting dressed, going to work, eat the same restaurant for lunch, hanging
Mm-hmm.
out with the same people, having the same conversations, and then coming home and doing the same thing the next day. So they
Mm-hmm.
start to blend together. So all those experiences become one experience. So time starts to fly by. You know,
No.
we forget the fact that we have to keep learning every day. Like you never stop learning. Like people are
Right.
like, I'm an artist, I made it. I'm like, yo, I'm
No.
still learning stuff.
Right. Me
Like
too.
I'm still teaching myself stuff. I'm still learning from other people. I'm learning from my kids' art. You know,
Yeah.
they're artists too, and I'm learning from like new stuff from them. My 4-year-old taught me like I need to stop being so rigid with my artwork.
Wow.
You know, we were painting, and like I have like these coloring books, and we were painting in the coloring book. And I was like, no, you got to paint like this. Like stop dipping your paintbrush in each little jar because you're mixing all the paints up. And you got to keep them separate and then build them over
Right.
here. And she was
Right.
like, nah, I want to just do this. I like the way it looks. And I was like,
Mm.
you
Right.
just doing your thing. All right. I
Right.
think I need to stop thinking like inside this art box that I have of how things are supposed to be done and just do it whatever way it needs to get done to get done.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter, she turned 6 on Saturday,
Yeah.
and she's really like into fashion design.
Hmm.
And she, socks and old socks and different materials. She'll cut it
Hmm.
up and make clothes for her Barbies and stuff. So it's really
That's
interesting how her
that's what's up.
mind is working. I don't know exactly what she's going to be.
Hmm.
Um, but it's cool to just see her like what she's interested in because she really loves to look at YouTube and how to
Hmm.
make certain like products for the dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and furniture and clothes and all of that. So it's really cool to see your children do the stuff, and you can learn from them
Yeah.
while you're,
It's such
teaching them
a
life.
it's such a great feeling to like have the ability to be anything you want at that age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like you can do and go any path you want, and like really you don't have to worry about what anyone says, because at that age they're like, oh, they're gonna grow out of that, they can just do whatever. Yeah, you want to be
Yeah.
a robot scientist, sure. You want to
Sure.
like put whales on stage to sing, yeah, that could be your new job, you know. I'm trying to like get that mentality back in my head that like nothing, what other people's expectations are have nothing to do with what I want and what I should be doing. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
your life is your life, but mine is mine. Like I need to live it the best way I know how to achieve the things that I want to do, and I'm gonna go about it however that is. You know.
Right. I don't like how people put put everyone in one box. I think
Hmm.
that everybody has multi talents that they use at different times in their life or all at once. And I think, especially as creatives, our mind keeps on, thinking about new things all the time. And I think that some people just need to kind of step back and just see the over, you know, everything
Yeah.
that a person can offer when it comes to stuff. So
Yeah. Like it has to like art is free, and not in the sense that you don't pay for it, but it's free because it's freeing. You could do it any way you want. You
mm-hmm.
know, a dude got paid 120,000 for putting a banana on the wall, a piece of cake.
Right.
Like it's it's all about how you market yourself. It's all about how you present your work. It's all about who you are. You know, it's a total package, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the key to it. Like art is anything you want it to be. You know,
Yeah.
people
Yep.
paint with ketchup and mustard. Like I think that's crazy, but
Right.
hey, it works for them.
Somebody likes it.
Yeah, somebody likes it. It's not me.
Right.
The ants are gonna like it. You know.
Right. Right. Well, that's all I have. Thank you so much for being part of Quarantine Live.
No, thank you. I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to be on your platform and to talk with me. And I enjoy meeting you. This is awesome.
I know, right? Nice meeting you. So
Yeah,
we definitely have to keep in touch and let me know what you have going on up there whenever we are able to
travel.
come travel, because Georgia is not allowed in New York.
Nah, nobody can come here no more, yo.
We're not allowed anywhere.
Yeah,
And
we
we
shutting it
just
down.
had our governor say that you don't have to wear masks when our mayor of Atlanta said that
You do.
you should wear masks. So it's a
Yeah,
lot going on down here in the
yeah,
South.
yeah. She just had COVID, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Your mayor got COVID, right?
Yep.
Crazy.
The Atlanta mayor has COVID. She put something out, and then the governor today was like, "Nah, you don't got to do that."
We could do a whole nother
Right.
show about the way this COVID stuff is going.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, if I can ever do anything for you, let me know. I would happily like help promote your stuff, and I can help you anywhere I can.
thank you.
Anything I know, any questions I have, you can. This is yours. It's all you gotta do is ask.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, I will definitely keep you in mind. I have some things already, but I'm not ready to let you know. I like to be
I get it.
prepared.
I get it.
Yeah. But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
All right. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye.